Good morning to you. Thank you so much for finding time to being with us today. It is Monday, the 30th of May, 2022. I trust that you had a wonderful weekend and your day has started off well. The show is Good Morning Africa. My name is Miriam Ogutu. It is just about 7 minutes past 9 a.m. here in Nairobi, East African time. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're tuned in and watching us from. And of course, as usual, I bring us up to date with the latest news headlines in Kenya, and then we shall look at a few newspapers from within and across the continent. And we start with the Star newspaper from Kenya. And the main headline, Truth Moment as IEBC officers clear hopefuls. Clearance is essential if aspirants want to run in election. The story is on page 4 and 5. DP Ruto criticizes Raila's campaign pledges, says PM, Prime Minister, stuck in the past. That is on page 6. And of course, the countdown there is just 70 days to go to our general election. State House eyes on Kalonzo as IEBC sets date to clear him for presidential run. The story is on page 6. Official in 11 million Kenya shillings ghost school funding faces graft charges. A clerical officer at the Education Ministry who is accused of creating an non-existent school and channeling 11 million Kenya shillings to his account could be charged with corruption. Anti-graft detectives have asked the DPP to charge Joshua Mumanyi Ocharo for that. The story is on page 2. And then the main pictorial, Azimio's big catch as top UDA official defects, and Raila Odinga and Martha Karua is in there welcoming UDA Vice Chairperson Kipruto Arap Kira to Azimio in Bungoma yesterday. We turn our attention now to the Daily Nation. The main headline, Money, Food and Peace. What this election is about. It is the economy, Jack. Every election has a question, and this one is not different. Away from the ping pong of the political elite, this year's political battle is also about bringing down the high cost of living, ending unemployment, sending bad and corrupt leaders home, fighting insecurity, and calling out politics of deceit. That story is on page 6 and 7. Ruto to kill CBC in raft of anti-Uhuru reforms. The deputy has vowed to roll back many of his own government's projects, including moving the inland container depot in Naivasha back to Mombasa, revising the competency-based school curriculum, remodeling the managed equipment services health project, and halting the bailing out of struggling state company. The story is on page 12. And then, of course, they have featured the Akira jump from UDA and SIM card swap, how man lost 2.6 million Kenya shillings to phone hackers. And struggling traders can't pay loans worth 100 billion Kenya shillings due to COVID-19. Central Bank is concerned at the high rate of loan defaults in trade, real estate, manufacturing, personal and households, and wants banks to sufficiently make provisions in case the borrowers are completely unable to pay the debts they owe. That is on page 8. And then now we look at the Standard newspaper. IEBC system failures, Jolt aspirants vetting, lengthy hours witnessed across the country as technical delays mar the start of clearance of aspirants by the Electoral Commission, prompting fears that crucial exercise could spill past the gazetted June 7th deadline. 2 presidential aspirants sent away for failure to meet requirements. The story is on page 4 and 5. Ruto to keep off current office as campaign hots up. The story is on page 12. And then plan for smart city traffic control system. That is on the business page on page 26. You are not the child's father, ex-husband told. Man opposes bid by former lover who wants a court to order a DNA test to prove he is not the father of their 10-year-old child. That is on page 12. And of course, the main headline, top gamblers will it work this time? And I see the pictures of Musalia Mudavadi, ANC leader, Hassan Joho, the current Mombasa governor, Sabina Chege Muranga, a women's representative, Rigathi Gachagua, that is the Madeira Member of Parliament, and Wycliffe Oparanya, the governor for Kakamega. They shelved their political ambitions to support Raila Odinga or William Ruto on the promise of plum government jobs and invested their valuable time and resources in the campaigns. And now they're keeping their fingers crossed. On August 9th, it will be a big win or a costly loss. The story is on page 6. So that is what we have on the leading newspapers in the country this morning. So I'll just take us through some of the newspapers from across the continent that I have with me this morning. We start with The Nation and from Nigeria, and the main headline: Presidency, Buhari not part of plot to draft Jonathan into race, and 8 children for release to train terrorists. And primaries, 42 senators won't return. And then Methodist prelate bishop kidnapped in Abia State, and Jimo Ibrahim Oblamo's wife win Senate tickets. Okay, I'm sure the people from Nigeria watching understand better what that is about. And then we move on to the Punch newspaper. Pro-zoning forces angry, slam PDP Tambuwal. Tambuwal's withdrawal dubious, PDP's primary inequitable. Then Pandef others. Delegates inducement with money forced Tambuwal to step down. That is according to a government aid. And EFCC arrest Yari, alleges ex-governor got 22 billion Nigerian naira. I don't know what that is. Lagis from accountant, that is accountant general. Okay. All right. You know, it's interesting, Nigerian newspapers and how they even capture their stories sometimes, because a headline is supposed to tell you exactly, in a nutshell, what you expect in that story. And sometimes their choice of words, it's interesting. By INEC, I think that is the Electoral Commission, the Independent Electoral Commission in Nigeria. Chairman visits Ekiti ahead of June 18th governor's poll. And then Lagos Telecom's accountant commits suicide, friend blames depression. Okay, so that is what we have on the front page of the Punch newspaper. And then the Herald, this is from Zimbabwe. Probe into NSSA, rout begins. And then 3 countries revive mining deal. Lift sanctions on Zimbabwe, African Union, and I was reading that story yesterday. The African Union chairperson is calling for, the US and EU to lift these sanctions that they have imposed on Zimbabwe. This is not the first time we're hearing of these calls, but they have been made before and nothing really changed. Instead, some of these sanctions were renewed. And so I don't know if this time they will make any difference. And then we look at the daily news still from Zimbabwe. Let us unite on basis of issues. Moyo exhorts divided opposition ahead of 2023. And then do more COVID test. That is according to experts. Okay, and then we move on to Newsday, still from Zimbabwe. Allow diaspora vote, Mudenda. All right, so faction finds tearing ZANU-PF, says ED. That is Emerson Mnangagwa, the president of Zimbabwe. The Guardian from the UK, Home Office report decries 30 years of racist laws. And then the main pictorial, a genius on a racehorse, sporting great Leicester Plagout dies aged 86. And then families says Paris and echoes of Hillsborough, that had echoes of Hillsborough. That is also on the inside of The Guardian. The Daily Telegraph, still from the UK. UK opens door to world's top graduates. And then, of course, the main pictorial is President Biden and his wife Jill. I think yesterday they visited the site of that Texas shooting that happened in the school that claimed about 19 lives. I'm sure this has been an international story, so I'm sure you have heard of that. The Daily News from Tanzania. TZ pushes for robust strategies counter-terrorism in Africa. We've seen a few of those incidences, being recorded in Tanzania, but Tanzania has not really had has not recorded it did in 1998 when we had the simultaneous bombing of the American embassy in Kenya and also in Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. But after that, it has not seen so much of, say, the attacks that we've been seeing, say, as from Al-Shabaab. But now it appears to try to put in strategies that will counter terrorism, not just in Tanzania, but also in Africa. Government on guard to control epidemic diseases. That also is on the Daily News from Tanzania. All right, so I think that is what we have on the newspapers Let me see if there's anything else I've left out. But I think that is what we have on the newspapers. The Citizen, TIC puts 138 trillion Tanzania shillings projects up for grabs, and then Tanzania to use its ivory stockpile for awareness. And I think Zimbabwe is seeking to do the same, to say it's been I think, in talks with the international communities to allow it to sell its ivory stock. And I think Tanzania is also asking for the same. And teachers, scientists get extra 95 billion Ugandan shillings for salaries. That is the new vision from Uganda. And then, okay, the Daily Monitor, still also from Uganda, nurses call off strike, resume work today. So that is what you have there. And then Uganda in the spotlight over money laundering. The story is on page 24 and 25 in the Daily Monitor. What you need to know about monkeypox, I think that is on the healthy living. I think it's a health pullout on the Daily Monitor. And security sees rhino horns at Entebbe, and what needs to change at the Ivory Tower. So that is what we have in some newspapers. We started with the Kenyan ones, and indeed others from across the continent of Africa. So you're now up to date. A very good morning to you. So now we'll just get into our conversation, and Dr. Matanga has joined us, or is trying to join us. He's still working on his connection. Doc, if you can hear me, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam, in Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you very much for watching me. I am in my true colors of the legacy trend, and a good morning. Thank you.
All right, a good morning indeed. So I've just taken us through the headlines this morning. And before we get into the main headlines, there's a story that caught my attention on the Standard newspaper. Ruto to keep off current office as campaign hots up. I want us to find out what this is about. Is it what Kenyans have been calling for? If you're campaigning, you should not be using government resources, and that house is one of them. So the story is on page 12 of the Standard newspaper. Deputy President William Ruto has scaled down political activities at his official residence in Karen and will instead hold meetings at UDA's head office. According to insiders, Ruto will also hold political activities at the UDA offices in Lavington and at office along Gong Road. The insiders say the DP is seeking to avoid a situation where he will be accused of using state resources when official campaign starts. Already, Dr. Ruto has scaled down political operations at his official residence and will cease using it for political activities after Sunday. Section 14 of the Electoral Offences Act 2016 outlaws the use of public resources for campaigns. His political advisors have cautioned that running campaigns from his home would give his opponents fodder for political accusations. But Doc, I think it's a little too late for that, because he's been running his campaigns from his current official residence as the Deputy President.
Miriam, yesterday I wrote a statement which was publicized worldwide. Very clear, and it is not people, it is us. I originated the statement that as soon as the official campaign starts, Ruto should surrender each and everything which is called a government asset. Because it is the first time in the history of Kenya that a sitting deputy president, it is not the people, it is me. I originated it, and I have to get it credit. I've been saying a long time ago that Ruto should have resigned. If you go back on punchline issues, you will find those steps there. We have stated here categorically on this television that the presence of Deputy President Ruto using state machinery is not it. Yesterday, the statement is there. We sent you a copy everywhere. People already copied. The law is very, one of the things that people don't understand and underrate people is they did not envisage a problem where a deputy president becomes a presidential candidate. The constitution was mum. The constitution kept quiet. This man went on using state resources. He should not only relinquish the current office, but he should even not touch the salary the allowances, the microphones, the cars that he has. He can only use those cars when he's going to a national function, but not on a political rally. Because if he's seen with a UG to a national function, we are supposed to disqualify him from the presidential race. The IEBC is supposed to cancel his name out, impound those cars, get evidence, take him to court, throw him out of the elections. That's it. We have talked and talked and talked about this Kenya. We have talked. People don't listen. Ruto should have quit this seat before. It is now dawning on him, after using all the state resources for 4 years, that he cannot use them anymore. He cannot parade people at Karen in a government house. We shall put locks and padlocks there. The government will move in to put padlocks, switch off water. If he does any political activity there, water will be switched off. The power will be switched off. It's a government institution. He has violated the Electoral Act. Miriam, a red flag. We raised it yesterday. Surprisingly, some of these newspapers, my dear sister, they go around all the social media and the platforms, then they pick a headline, and then disguise that the editors worked so hard. No. We lead, they follow, and accept it. You don't have your original ideas. They are not there. They now cram a story, or the DP supposed to live with this. No, this is 24-hour thing. We said it yesterday, very early in the morning at 4 a.m. I wrote a story 4 a.m. I said there is a conundrum here. The deputy president, once the campaign starts on 29th, he must leave. Now, if he is going to avoid any, how shall we, the question here, Miriam, is, how shall we differentiate between the official car and the government car? The government car and the private car. It means that Mr. Whoever is getting money from the government, all spokesmen of the president, of the deputy president, sees on never to make a comment as regards anything to do with politics. He can now hire private people like Hussein Mohammed. Those one can make comments. But anybody earning government money who is in that office, including the PA, who is Mr. Farouk Kibet, he must not be seen in public rallies. He can be seen at Nyayo Stadium, Uhuru Park on Wednesday, where there are functions. Drivers, government drivers can be seen at Uhuru Park, Uhuru Gardens on Wednesday. And if they are driving him to State House to meet the president, he can go with them. But my dear, if one driver is found still driving, the deputy president, that driver loses the job. And even the type of security is going to be downgraded, changed. I'm now authoritatively telling you this. To run a presidential candidate, so he can hire his private security if he wants. Because if you see people keeping quiet and you think they are not working, they are working. Miriam, I'm telling you, it has to be, look for your Russian mercenaries to guard you. But for us, we shall give you like what we give to Raila. What Raila is given, so that you are at par Miriam, you are the par. And that is, do you know, that is my sister. That's where we are going to end. Okia Mutata is watching step by step. I told you yesterday, the 40,000 billion is going to be struck by this. Have you seen this? A pen struck. Go back.
So just scaling down the activities at his official residential area as the deputy president is not enough. These other privileges that he enjoys, Doc, must also go. But,
you are right.
But where do we draw the line? Because he's still the deputy president, so that means the security to his house still stays. So is it when he's engaging in the rallies, political activities that I should not enjoy, or where do we draw the line? Because it's still...
They would have, Miriam, frankly speaking, now the intelligence has to be put on the ground. If there are any politicians coming to meet there, the house will be closed by the Electoral Act. Sorry. The only meeting that can take their place is if he's meeting cabinet ministers. They are not refusing him to sleep. He can sleep. He can sleep. Rachel can enjoy. And I don't know why they did not prepare their own house. They have a house next door.
They do. And during the first term, during his first term, Dr. Ruto gave the house, this is his official residence, a wide berth. He lived at his private home a few kilometers away, just from there. He moved into the home in 2015 and made it his political power base alongside his village residence in Sugoi in Uasin Gishu. So it appears the sole reason why the DP moved in his official residence was for campaigns, because initially after they were elected in 2013, he never lived there until 2015 when he started the active campaigns, I think. That's when they moved into, the official residence.
Miriam, you are right. You are right, and he has now been caught in catch-22. This thing of standing in front of the current house is no more. Any of the leaders seen standing in the current house, Miriam, I tell you in the name of God, the cancellation of his election is very imminent. 2, he can't draw any more allowance from now. You have seen something running that the Speaker of National Assembly has been caught in catch-22. As from yesterday, have you seen breaking news? Or just news in? Have you seen somewhere that the Speaker of National Assembly has returned to where he was? Because he has been caught up by this official campaign system. Because once you are now earning salary from the government, you cannot go back and claim to be a Speaker of National Assembly. And you have seen on the public rally and earning the salary, you have declared your interest in a party that you want. So somebody must have told him, Turi, hello, go back, be as you were. I am told that announcement is due anytime today.
Justin Muturi, he's coming back to Jubilee Party.
I'm told so, to Azimio Party or whatever.
Or to Azimio Coalition. Yeah,
because his party has thrown him out, and therefore he is there. Now you can't. The law that is the thing that is catching him is that law that you read up there. There's something that you have, the act you have read there in the paper. Have you seen that act? Can you read it again?
The story I was reading on DP Ruto. Let me see if I can get that. Section 14 of the Elections Offences Act 2016 outlaws the use of public resources for campaigns. And yes.
Yes. And basically these guys, Miriam, don't be shy to say they were caught. Mr. Speaker of the Senate, Lusaka is campaigning as a governor of Bungoma. Miriam, in normal senses, You are using the government vehicle. The PA is being paid by the salary of the Senate, and the government is paying. So technically, all the PA, if you declare from yesterday that you are in this format, walaya mungu, you don't go back and touch government money. So the Ministry of Treasury, Police, Intelligence are being told, monitor the house. If we find a rally, Ruto, if we find one meeting of those guys, those tanga hybrid calling people who go there to meet you and you pick money, if they find it inside their medium, hiyo nyumba itafungwa, and then report you for an electoral offense. Under the electoral offense, there is a court for electoral offense. The electoral chairman, that Chebukati, I bet you, can disqualify you. Is only that Chebukati is a man who, before he makes a decision, goes to the toilet, then comes back, and then goes back to the toilet. But if it is farm electoral commissions like South Africa, Miriam, so many people here would be disqualified.
All right, and I'm looking at the Star newspaper. I don't know if you have your papers. And on page 3 on the Star newspaper, a very interesting cartoon there. We are seeing the campaign start. They have the image of Raila and Ruto, who, and then the caption there is, because now the campaign period is officially, starting. And so Chebukati is the referee there and is saying, starting, they already started. He's trying to kickstart something that already started long time ago. So that is the irony. But yesterday we saw, the deputy chairperson of UDA, Kipruto Arap Kirwa, join the Azimio team yesterday in Bungoma. Let me just read a bit of that. And Azimio La Umoja presidential candidate.
William, before you read that, I want you, the cartoon you talked about. Chebukati is saying started when he is hiding Kalonzo under the box.
Kalonzo has fallen there. He's not sure whether he's running or not, I think.
No, it is not falling.
He's down there, smiling.
Let's call it half of his body has been hidden under the box of Chebukati. So Chebukati is using it as a plow. You see that? Using it as a plow. And of course, telling his whoever is controlling Chebukati. You have seen another report which I've sent to Stephen, can show you. Actually, Stephen can show you now. Stephen, bring that report on table. How Chebukati, how the meetings have been going on between Chebukati, Ruto, and Duale. And Miriam, you and I, we did that documentary here. People have now again stolen it. They have brought it in a good format. Thank you very much. But we did it. We warned the people that these meetings have been taking place. If you look at that, you will see that Chebukati has meetings with one of the candidates. And now, if you tell me you have extended for Kalonzo, you have excluded Jeff Kalui, you have squeezed him out because of technicalities. Jeff Kalui, Juma, that man of Juma something, Freedom Party, they are going to court because the way Chebukati has done his things, he extends these things without the court's approval.
I saw, and he extended also for others. I think yesterday, as I was watching, for them to go and I don't know do what. I think there was a timeline, and there were requirements that are supposed to be met. So why Chebukati keeps pushing these goalposts is what we don't understand.
Miriam, I tell you, I have never seen a country which runs an election like the Kenyan election now as we stand. I am talking as a person I'm sorry, Kenyans, you can hate me, I have no problem, but you cannot exchange, extend whatever you want, just like that. You extend that, okay, then what is the use of the timelines by the Constitution? Miriam, what is the timelines? The Constitution has put the timeline. Then the way we are talking, let Chebukati even extend the election. He has got a right he can now extend the election, and I said, I cannot conduct this election because I don't have enough money. Why is he not doing so? If he's able to extend and accommodate a returning officer on the day you fail to, in other countries, Britain, America, South Africa, Ghana, you fail on the nomination day to bring one small thing like this. This is how democracy is built. You are told you have been disqualified. Whether it was a small thing that you forgot back home, if you bring papers that are doubted, that is different. The IEBC will take every paper and go and check. But the IEBC does not say, we have seen your papers, but we are sorry, there is something missing. We give you 3 days to go and correct it. Miriam, well, I am God watching me. I've never seen even the Uganda one that you hate. That people hate so much that Uganda has no electoral commission. They didn't do that. Chagulani, on the day that Chagulani was supposed to hand over his documents, that is the end. That is the end. It was nothing, no negotiations at all. It is the end of the saga. If you have not handed in your papers, Miriam, by midnight that day, in fact, the handing over is by 5. If you are not at the polling station by 5, consider it, you are out of the race. But in Kenya, as people rightly put it, we are democratic. There's democracy. It's different from other democracies. Maybe that is how the way the things are being done. That is what I wanted to speak on the cartoon. You can go ahead now and explain that act.
Okay. So this other story where yesterday UDA Vice Chairperson Kipruto Arap Kirwa, was welcomed to Azimio after he ditched Deputy President William Ruto's Kenya Kwanza, and Kenyans had so much to say about this. I don't know, what impact will this move have, one, on Azimio, and two, the vacuum that perhaps he has left in UDA or in Kenya Kwanza?
The impact is in Trans Nzoia. I tell you, Trans Nzoia will vote either 95 to 96%. The whole of Trans Nzoia. Arap Kirwa comes from Trans Nzoia. Trans Nzoia is a cosmopolitan area where you find all tribes, Luyas, Luos, Kalenjin, Bukusu, Maragori, Kikuyu. They are all there. It's not an area that Ruto says he commands the whole 3/4 of the vote in Kwanza, in Kenya Kwanza, no. Trans Nzoia is very difficult, and the vice chairman of UDA has seen the ground shaking and changing, as the word in Kenya is saying. The ground has changed, has listened to the ground. Kirwa is not corrupt man. He has never been corrupted. He can't. I don't know why in the first place he went to corrupt people, maybe to get a few things and survive here and there, like most of my intelligent people, intellectuals, who have flocked to Ruto for survival, to clear their bank loans, their credit cards. I have some 3 very powerful people whom I cannot mention here, who have actually joined Ruto because he has paid their mortgages. He has paid their arrears of their debts, loans. He's cleared them. My good friends, some of them. And they come to laugh at you, Matanga, who is not joining the bandwagon. I have them. I can't name them because they didn't tell me to name it. But they came and showed me even the bank slips where Ruto paid and cleared their loans in the bank. And ordered the bank manager clear the loan. You have a loan of 10 million cleared. So intellectuals have jumped the bandwagon. For us on this side of Azimio, we are working because we are patriotic, we are passionate. We want a better country, a better tomorrow, a better Kenya. We are not working for money. We are not. Some of us are doing voluntary work, talking from morning up to evening. We are not being paid for the voice coming out. No, we are not. I am not. At least for me, I am not. I'm doing it for a better Africa. I put up this station for a better Africa. And if someone can express a view here which can be picked and used for voting Raila Amolo Odinga, I'm happy. But Miriam, when you joined this at UDA, you are promised so many things. Your bank loan will be cleared. Your problems will be solved. You have not seen Mudama joining a rally since Mutua joined. Mudama has stayed out. Omingo Magara is a formidable guy. He won a seat on his own party in that constituency. He's my friend. But he could not be bribed. He saw the type of democracy. The worst thing that the Roman Empire crucified religion, Jesus, on a cross and killed him. But what Giro said yesterday, that democracy in UDA has been crucified on a cross. So he was looking for a better place where there is democracy. And of course, the best place where you can be as a man who is straightforward and who, it doesn't matter if the votes are gone, you will abide, and the seat is Azimio. That's why you see even up to now, Kalonzo is being hidden under the control by IEBC. Your signatures were not enough. You didn't put them in Excel format. We extend you today until Sunday. Bring this, bring that. You are still on the race. We give you the date. Kebukat is managing on behalf of his master, the master who brought people from Greece to print your papers. Miriam, don't forget. Usually we forget these stories. And then we say people have been doing this, saying it. No, it is us. We have raised the red flag here. You know where Kenyan papers are ballot papers are being printed from? Greece. And who brought the tender? The man who earned the tender is a father-in-law of one of Ruto's henchmen, business associate. They have brought the tender and they are printing it. And you Kenyans are jovo. You are jovo. You are saying it's okay. We have allowed it to go. Because the law, I am not the Attorney General who signs these tenders. I'm not the Solicitor General who signs this tender before you go. If we had people in the law office who check not money, but check facts, the tender of the Electoral Commission should not be handed over to a Greece company. And we must speak the truth. Now you are drawing pictures, sending around pictures that look. Oh, look, the Chebukati is meeting, but we told you. This is a long story that we told you a long time ago. And now you are just discovering that the two commissioners are Duale's commissioners. He handles them. If you go to the Wilson Airport, can you get any helicopter registered under Ruto? No. Who was authorizing these helicopters to be bought? You go to the land in Taita Taveta. There is a front. Ruto has fronted somebody whose name I cannot mention here, but I'm about to soon to mention the name. Because some of these Kenyans are behaving very badly. They are tainting the whole image of President Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy. You cannot, why Ruto cannot be found in any corruption case, Miriam, is because he doesn't put his name there and his national identity card in the business. He collects fronts, he fronts men and women. When you go to hotels that are being built in Irunda, there is a woman in front there. But the money is Ruto's. The land in Taveta, there is a man there. But the land is his, and he's there with a stick, even ridiculing us. But when you go to check the company, you don't find Ruto's name. He has violated all the acts of a civil servant, not to own property, engage in business, do things as a president, a deputy president.
All right. So now, Doc, that brings me to my next question, because as you speak right now, the IEBC has started going through the aspirants, be it members of parliament, be it anybody who is seeking to run for any position, including the presidential, contenders there, aspirants, and the aspirants must meet legal and ethical threshold, and of course several politicians have been flagged as not meeting the threshold to hold public office owing to corruption allegations, other crimes and unbecoming conduct. Others were impeached as governors by MCAs and senators on grounds of gross violation of the constitution and misconduct. So Chebukati said the commission will only clear those who meet the mark according to chapter 6 of the Kenyan constitution. And last week Chebukati disclosed that the names of all aspirants will be forwarded to Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. And I think this is where the litmus test will happen. And Kenyans are waiting to see if at all these people will be cleared. EACC and Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions must scrutinize and must make sure everybody that is set to vie for any position in this country meets the threshold, and they refuse to continue with pursuing some of these cases in court. So how do we expect them to clear some of these people who already have, these corruption cases in the courts? Should they be allowed to run, or what kind of scrutiny, what kind of, should we expect from EACC and Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions?
Miriam, you want my honest statement? My sister, we are wasting. Do you know what we are wasting? We are wasting the allowances. Let's allow all these people to run. As we speak right now, Miriam, between me and you and the Kenyan listening, the DCI are not recording any statement. If you are killed right now, you are on your own. Yes, tuambiane ukweli, why are we wasting time? These people, why do you waste time that at 2 o'clock you are clearing Wachikoya? Let everybody compete. This is the Kenya we have.
But
listen.
Wachikoya has not been I've not heard if he's had any corruption case.
No.
But somebody like Gachagua.
Wachikoya, let me tell you, Miriam, Wachikoya is my friend. Mm-hmm. He's my son, not even a friend. I'm older than Wachikoya. The only problem is grown a beard and he does his things in the way he does. He knows. He's watching right now. I've just told him. I'm going to talk about it. I took Ochikoya and gave him my first job in London. He was my bouncer. And I'm happy to see my bouncer, the man I paid money, going for presidential candidature. He has no crime he has committed. He has not done anything against anybody.
Yeah, you can't compare him with this other
So I am
candidates.
saying, if you look like you are wasting time, I'm not comparing. I'm saying if you look like you are wasting time to start evaluating Wachikoya with the criminals. That's what I was trying to say. You didn't allow me to finish that. Evaluating Wachikoya with the criminals. Wachikoya has done nothing wrong in this country. He has done very well, collected 48,000 signatures. He has told you that he is standing on Roots Party, where he will legalize marijuana, of which marijuana internationally is being exported for medicine. So don't outlaw him. He's not outlawed. Marijuana in Zimbabwe is being exported on a high scale to Switzerland. People are paying. It is becoming one of the huge foreign exchange earner for some of the countries very soon, in 5 years to come. So Wachikoya, compared with Kajagwa, or compared with Ruto, compared with other people, candidates who are vying, who have failed to come, it is like a distance between us and her. So I agree with you. That's why I said, and sarcastically I said, Miriam, why don't we allow all of them? Because there is no need of saying you are presenting your papers for what? Ruto is going to pass automatically. Because you cannot, every business of Ruto has got either the wife or the friend. That land in Tabeta, there is a man there, a front that he used. In fact, if you are going to take that land, you will not find Ruto's name on the land. But he goes there physically with cows and with a stick, like Museveni with a hat, comparing himself to Museveni, that he's also herding cows stolen from cows stolen from Capedo. Every day stolen and taken there, slaughtered to be exported to Burundi. And the systems, the security systems here are watching. Money is being brought back from Burundi that he exported cows. How many cows can you export to Burundi that can bring you 2.5 billion shillings? How many? Even Argentina. Miriam, Argentina. Even Argentina that exports beef does not export beef for $2.5 billion at a go. So how many cows do you export in Kenya that you slaughter from the farm? Let's talk the truth. This is all laundered money. The story is coming from Uganda. Have you seen that? Have you seen that in Uganda?
Yes.
You go to that store and you don't find Ruto's name there. Didn't I tell you that itatokea? Nilikuambia nini? Some of us are, Miriam, some of us have seen these things before. I told you when we were on this program that Ngoja time is coming. The truth is gonna come out. That the story of Uganda before we finish, what does it say on Monitor chapter something? Ma'am, it is very clear money laundering. If Ruto's name is not there, if the wife's name is not there in those banks that they have connected in Uganda, you Kenyans, you will tell me. I already know what Ruto is going to do. I know. Ruto is not interested in this election. And for me, having been around this continent of Africa and East Africa for a long time, longer than Ruto, I know what he's thinking about.
So the story on the Daily Monitor, Uganda in the spotlight over money laundering on page 25 and 24, 25 on the Daily Monitor of Uganda today.
There you are. Go and look at the companies that went to Uganda, Amaco, Starbuck. Look at them. Are they not part of the money laundering schemes? I've been around East Africa longer than Ruto. I was baptized in 1955 when Ruto was not even manufactured at all. I'm sorry. If you want to kill me because I was born in 1955, go and kill me. But I speak my truth. That's why some of these people fear me. I tell my truth. Ruto is not interested in this election. That's why you see the Wetangulas are not interested in this, what they have been given, Miriam.
I heard he's running.
We are going to continue with that topic at 11 across the bridge. Don't hold that thought there of Wetangula. When we begin the diplomatic leads, let's start with the story that we have left here, because we are crossing over to our sister television station, the CAS TV, to discuss more of this powerful politics on there and delivering it to almost 80 million people in the Rift Valley. Direct injection. Now, Patia, tune in at the top of the hour. You will see me there. And I'm going to tell them direct. Now tell Ruto direct. You see, one of the problems that Miriam people have is not to speak the truth. The truth finally sets you free. I told you there was something wrong Ruto was doing in Uganda. Hasn't it arrived on page 22, 24, 20, whatever you call it? What pages are those? Look at the companies that are money laundering. How many cows can you kill to get 2.5 billion Kenya dollars? How many cows? You must steal all the cows in Capital Triangle. The farm takes, even Argentina, which exports beef, does not export that beef, that type of beef, to any African country, and is paid $2.5 billion. Where do you get that amount of money that you are bringing in the country in these two cases?
Okay, so we shall, and I understand, Doc, you have to leave, but we shall look at that. Even IEBC has already given its timetable on how it's going to IEBC program for some of the presidential candidates, and they've even booked in Kalonzo Musyoka. He's booked to submit his papers on the June 4th. I think all eyes will be there, and Kenyans will be waiting to see if at all Kalonzo Musyoka will go ahead and show up and to be cleared as a presidential hopeful. And also something else we didn't get to talk about, but perhaps we will do that. Ruto is planning to where was that story? Like a lot of the things that President Uhuru Kenyatta has done in terms of his legacy, I think he's planning to revise a lot of those things, and some of which he was part of, as far as the initiative is concerned. So he even says he will kill the CBC in the raft, and then he'll also roll back many of his own government's projects, including moving, of course, the inland container depot in Naivasha back to Mombasa, and then he will revise the CBC, and he will remodel the Managed Equipment Services Health Project. And this was done, and he was part, in fact, in the first time. Remember those hospital equipments that were given to the counties in the first time of Jubilee? He was part of that. Now he's saying he will revise that, and he will halt the bailing of struggling state companies. So he wants to negate on everything that his government the government has done, and much of this, he was part of the crafters of some of these things now he wants to negate. But I think that is a conversation we shall have another time. So I guess we will stop here for right now. It's just 2 minutes past 10 a.m. here is the African time. Doc, thank you so much as we give way to our next show. This has been Good Morning Africa. We shall be back here at 11 a.m. with more conversation. Thank you for watching. Good morning.
Good morning, Miriam, and we shall not lose hope that all those who think that Matanga was wrong, I want to tell you, Miriam, Ruto is going, he could even lock all of us in prison. Have you seen what he's saying? He will undo everything that Kenyatta did. So, Mr. President, if you are watching my show today, let's work so hard and win this election. Let's not leave a stone unturned, you people, my people. I've cried enough. This guy says he will remove CBS, he will go for the hospital equipment, he will go hit. It means he's going to lock up the Kaunda Chiluba situation, not Kibaki Moi situation. Thank you. If I'm wrong, again, Gabriel, hold my hands. If you are not careful, Ruto is going to do Chiluba Kaunda situation here. I was here in 2002. I saw at the Uhuru Park. I was a journalist, a consultant for Sky News. I came with my crew to cover the swearing-in ceremony at the Uhuru Park. I was in the corridors of power seeking to interview President Kibaki. I know that having known and having had interest in Kenyan politics, there were people telling Kibaki to arrest Moi. I'm telling you the truth. And their advisors, they said, this guy beat us, let's put him in jail. If you are not a strong president, you can easily do it, Miriam. Am I wrong? Given the relationship between the president, Uhuru Kenyatta, and Ruto, and the way these people from Uhuru Kenyatta's backyard have been for 4 years. How many insults? Every day I take 20,000 insults for this legacy trend. Here, look, this one, 20,000 insults, because I defend the president. I talk about the president and show the legacy that he has done something very good. On my social media, I cannot write even a message for my daughter. I'm insulted throughout. But thank you very much. If you don't watch this, this could be Chiluba Kaunda style. Be careful. You see, he has warned you already that he's going to change everything. How can he do a U-turn on CBS? CBC, when he was a student of CBC.
No, he was part of the crafters.
He was a crafter, he was in the cabinet.
Yeah.
And he was, you remember when he went to higher education, Minister of Higher Education. That is what he brought in that made even Kibaki to think, oh, he can work very well. Now today is because he doesn't like Uhuru Kenyatta is saying he will craft it, cut it. There you are. Those who have ears here, Jesus said, I'm only not talking for those here, but even for those who have ears listening from up. Hear me. This guy could do it.
And the hospital equipments, you remember where the governors had issues with some of the equipments that were delivered in the counties? That was done in the first term of Jubilee government, and he was supporting that. And now he's saying, no, we shall revise that. You have to pick a struggle.
The man was in cabinet, and he went to cabinet.
He defended all of these things. He defended.
He said the port, if the port goes to inland, it helps quite a lot. So Ruto hates us Ugandans not to get goods cheaper through Naivasha dry port. But he likes using our country as Ugandans to loan the money and to get things from there and earn living, grow rich. But he doesn't want us Ugandans to get our goods from Naivasha to Kampala. What type of man is this? Thank you very much. On top of the hour is the continuation of the same en route.
Bye-bye.